Ric Flair makes a shocking WWE accusation. Plus, an AEW star gets his tooth knocked out on Dynamite. And a classic Attitude Era team are returning to pay-per-view tomorrow night. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Ric Flair on his podcast has been doing a lot of talking about a lot of things. He made quite a shocking accusation thrown at WWE in the most recent one. So we'll go through some of the notes from Ric's podcast. On the subject of returning to WWE, Ric said, "I could never work for Nick Khan in my entire life. Vince McMahon I could work for. Nick Khan, who is the guy who orchestrated taking me off the show, he orchestrated taking the woo off never in a million years." So what he means by that, sir, is on that intro,
the opening sting that says "then, now, forever" has a little bit of music and you see some big moments.
Yes, there was a woo on there before it said "then, now, forever, together forever, never depart." It was a woo, and Flair's woo is gone.
I mean, if you weren't such a controversial character, then I think I'd argue that the company would still include the woo.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Just thinking out loud. On discussions with AEW, or lack thereof, he said there are no discussions with AEW at all. "I told Vince, unless they do something really stupid to me, that I would never go to work for the competition. Now they've done some really stupid stuff. So that door is open. But I've not talked to Tony, and I haven't heard from them." Flair goes on to say, in terms of like the stupid stuff done from WWE, so obviously they took me off the opening, says Ric Flair.
Yes,
he says,
which I find that side of the argument a little bit pathetic, but this next bit is what?
It's weird how he emphasises the one part and not the other.
Yeah,
because he says
it's like he emphasises the wrong thing here.
Really does, because he says, "When I saw that they took me off the opening, some people said to me, 'Rick, how do you feel about that?' I said, well, after they asked me to sign my intellectual property to them, while I was on life support, nothing that company does surprises me."
Can you imagine being on life support and then a lawyer comes barging into the room with a form and just tries to get you to sign it?
If that's what...
Because that's how that sounds. That sounds like, just sign this. It doesn't sound like, oh, we need your IP and we want all this. Because in no world is somebody going to go, yeah, sure. Like... What?
It's quite an accusation that Ric Flair has made.
Hi, can you just sign over your likeness and all of your intellectual property and, everything, your catchphrases, your history with title, like just what?
Now, WWE has not commented on this accusation.
It's serious. That's a serious accusation.
But of course, when we know more, we'll let you know more at Cultaholic.com. If it is more than an accusation, I guess we will know. On another note, returning to the ring, Ric Flair says that a promoter in Israel has offered him $100,000 to fight Sammy Guevara in Israel. And Flair's like, yeah, if you get me 2 first-class tickets there and back, give me half the money up front and half the money when I beat Sammy Guevara, then I'm having it. So, what a time.
Yeah, why not?
What a time.
Let's get Flair back in the ring at 70 odds.
He is so keen to get back wrestling, and I'm worried.
It's because Ric Flair is Ric Flair is Ric Flair is Ric Flair is Ric Flair. There is nothing else. It's Ric Flair.
It's Ric Flair all the way down.
He is a wrestler, and he will always be a wrestler. Up here, and people are going to offer him money to work. He's going to take it, or he's going to at least try.
Yeah. The big story there, obviously, Ric Flair making quite the accusation at WWE, and when we know more, you'll know more at Cultaholic.com. Today, Colt Cabana will be making a phone call to his dentist following Dynamite last night, as Bryan Danielson came through on a promise to not only kick someone's head in, he went a little bit further than that. He knocked Colt Cabana's tooth out. We think it was one of the kicks that might have done it, that hoyed it out. And Danielson had some fun things to say afterwards, didn't he?
Yes, so he held up Colt's tooth, Colt Cabana. He held up Colt's tooth and he spoke to the crowd and he said, "When I debuted in Chicago, I got a much different reaction than this. I have one word to describe that, and that's fickle. Fickle. I'm not fickle. fickle. I came out here and I said I was going to kick Colt Cabana's head in, and not only did I kick his head in, but I also kicked his teeth out. Fickle.
The word fickle is back in Bryan Danielson's lexicon, and I am delighted with this. All we need now is for him, if he wins an AEW championship, to make a wood version.
I just say just come out with a replica wooden WWE when you get all the heat you need, because they'll be like, how dare you do that? Tony's going to be so upset. And it'll, the fans will do all the build there for you.
I love the fact, I always love that Daniel Bryan for a while held an organically friendly, earth-friendly WWE championship that they then proceeded to mass produce.
And then it was like, boo this man for wanting to save the planet. Boo! Oh, he's vegan. Oh,
how dare you?
How dare you not, add to the global beef shipping and everything.
Beef shipping? No. Beef dripping? No.
It's seriously, it adds so much in pollution to the shipment of beef and meat products, man. It's ridiculous. I'm not even vegan, but it concerns me.
Eat local.
Yeah.
Eat local in general.
I just try and eat beef like once a month.
Okay.
Yeah, just like a nice steak. That's it.
I eat fish. I strictly fish and duck. Because they're on the water too.
One a day.
Just one duck a day. You know what they say? A duck a day keeps the doctor away.
A black bin liner. Straight off the surface.
I've got a duck for dinner today. Oh, I'm popping. AEW have officially announced the Battle of the Belts.
Bloody hell, finally.
This was talked about a while ago. January the 8th, this is the first of AEW's TNT specials that they're putting out.
Yes.
And the first one is Battle of the Belts, which is like it's an old pay-per-view. They're giving new life
Clash
to
of the Champions, basically.
Clash of the Champions, Battle of the Belt, Tussle of the Titles, that sort of jazz. It's coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina, on January the 8th on TNT. I think this would be fun. I like the quarterly specials.
Yeah, I think the specials do a lot for them in the way that, even people who can't afford pay-per-views are able to watch them. And it's got that big feel to it. It feels like a big deal. Even though it is just technically a normal week of TV, you're kind of getting that little cheeky bonus from it. It's nice. I like it.
What's the deal, Sam, with WWE in Japan? What's going on?
So, WWE is currently on J Sports in Japan, and J Sports have tweeted out, important notice, WWE Raw and WWE SmackDown will be discontinued, and J Sports On Demand WWE Pack will be discontinued. If you're a WWE Pack subscriber, you will need to cancel the contract. So WWE and J Sports extended their 22-year partnership in 2019. They signed a 3-year deal. It's a bit unknown at the minute if WWE are negotiating with somebody else over there in terms of broadcast or what's going to happen there. I think they're going to find themselves on another channel. There's no way they won't. They do have an audience over there, even though it is quite a niche thing, as pro wrestling in general is a niche thing. But they do have WWE audiences. We have seen WWE shows very well attended over there, like the Lesnar Kofi, was it Beast in the East?
Yeah.
You get that because in Japan it's like, I don't know, you have Japanese wrestling, but also there is that market for, it's like us, right? We've got British indie wrestling and we've got WWE, and we like WWE as well. So
it's true.
They'll find somewhere. If not, it'll be some sort of weird Peacock deal or God knows what.
Rocky Romero was on the Battleground podcast. He talked recently about WWE's talks with New Japan that happened this year. And they said that WWE reached out to New Japan, as they do every X amount of years. I wouldn't go so far as saying there was ever going to be a deal made, but if WWE comes knocking on the door and they want to talk to you, you're going to listen to what they have to say. Obviously, with AEW compared to WWE, two completely different things. Where AEW, they have a true understanding of New Japan and what the product is, and have a complete respect for the history of the product, for what the product stands for the wrestlers, and how they do it. WWE probably not so much. I think WWE more reaching out as a way to placate a performer.
And maybe, stop them from working with their competitor.
There's a little bit of that
I think
well.
that was also maybe running through that there. It's one of those things where AEW has the direct link with things like Kenny and the Bucks and Cody and, people who have worked in New Japan before as well. You've kind of got that policy already there between them. You know, they kind of have that rapport, probably as performers, but. Yeah, I mean, WWE New Japan crossover would be interesting, but realistically, how far is it going to go beyond Michael Cole going, that's Okada, he's the biggest wrestler in Japan, and then, you know, you'll say, he was the champion this many times. It wouldn't really do much, and then on the Japan side of it, it would be more interesting for sure, but... You know, could you imagine just somebody like Goldberg rocking up at a Korakuen show?
Wow.
But I don't know. I think they've made the right call here with AEW.
They worked with WWF back in the 70s.
They did, and then WWE had Super World of Sports. They had all sorts of stuff going on over there.
They had a belt that was defended between the two promotions.
They had a few belts, mate.
They did one in particular. I did a podcast all about, which was the WWF Martial Arts Championship. Wrestling Curiosities on the podcast feed now. I listened all about that, about Antonio Inoki taking that belt and defending it in America and fighting Bob Backlund in Japan. Oh, it's all happened before.
Inoki was champion. They never recognised it.
Yeah, we talk all about that as well on the podcast. It's true. It's the forgotten reign of Inoki as WWF champion. That's been all historical. That's hysterical. Talking historical, let's get hysterical. An Attitude Era tag team returns to pay-per-view tomorrow night. So, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers do their FWF thing.
Yes.
FWF Live 2 was announced for tomorrow night on pay-per-view. It starts streaming from 8 o'clock Eastern time in America tomorrow. So once you're recovered... Oh, happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Oh, yeah, God, happy Thanksgiving.
Forgot to do happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Or as we call it in the UK, Thursday.
Yeah, sale weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know why we've started doing all your sales, but we are now. Thank you for the deals, America.
I'm looking forward to going.
That's what we're thankful for.
Yeah, we're thankful for America.
50% off an Amazon Fire Cube.
Because of America, I can buy a telly for 20 quid tomorrow.
But it only has one HDMI port.
Always the way. But tomorrow, as you're recovering from Thanksgiving and the Black Friday sales, watch FWF Live 2. It's going to feature Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. Also, featuring performances by Swoggle, Tatonka.
Should we do the jostly thing they used to do when they came out?
Oh, and that's it. That's what they did. Mark Jindrak and Garrison Cade. No. The Headbangers.
Yeah.
They still do the odd events, so they're not like completely done, but they're back on pay-per-view tomorrow night.
How weird was it when they came back in like 2017?
Oh, yeah.
Or 2016 or whatever it was. It was so strange, wasn't it?
That's a way I forgot that was a thing.
But I was just like, the Headbangers. I remember losing my mind.
I love that. I'm remiss to realise they did so many things over the last couple of years, but they're back on pay-per-view, which is the important thing. And here's to Headbangers going to the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Do you think they ever would?
I hope so.
Stranger things have happened.
They used to come out with like fake little foam belts, didn't they? They should give them a little foam ring.
They did. Do you know when they had cones for a while?
Yeah. When they got to Mechanical Animals era, they started dressing a bit androgynously.
So Headbangers on pay-per-view tomorrow night. Follow Matt Cardona or Brian Myers on Twitter. Get on their Patreon and you can watch the Headbangers doing their thing where they bash into each other. Happy Thanksgiving, America. Love you. Bye.
Have a good one. Eat all the turkey.
My shoulder.